on the third Thursday night of every month. And Sunday morning meet is for everybody, men, women, and children, everybody. And it's growing. It's growing. So, and for those who have stuck in there, they're doing amazing things. Those who want quick fix, they're not, right? Everything is a growing thing. You grow into love. You grow into life. You grow into wealth. You grow into everything, right? So check us out on rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, all right? Or call 800-411-BOND. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life, because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family, and that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role, when she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, everybody? Appreciate you being here on this fine White History Month Tuesday. I'm wearing a very black shirt, black in both color and spirit. Okay, very black shirt on White History Month. If you're going to listen to the podcast, the text on the shirt reads Elder Peterson West Swain. So on this very special and we're grateful on this beautiful Tuesday on this White History Month. We are grateful for Elder Peterson West and Swain. But of course we are. That's a sincere thing. Grateful for those great black men on this great White History Month. White History Month, rambling on what I'm rambling about already. White History Month, right? Black and white, the original Americans. Come on. It almost makes sense that I'm wearing this shirt on that one today on this Tuesday after this RNC stuff. I'm wearing on White History Month this shirt at the RNC. What we saw, it's something I do want to get into here. Appreciate you all tuning in today. 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the line, speak with the Anchor Baby. In fact, I do want to get to a call right away. Appreciate you calling in. But yeah, we're going to get into it here. RNC a little bit. The response is pretty mixed. Around my bubble, the people are blackpilling. They're blackpilling. It's over. It's so over. We got Consuela. We got OnlyFans at the White House. Okay. Alex Jones is not blackpilling. I'm just doing an impression. Okay. They called them pro-Trump furries. Pro-Trump disabled furries. Okay, I'm just messing around. Look, we're going to get into it here. Let's get to Brian out of North Carolina, though, right away here. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Thank you, Nick. How's it going, man?
All is well, man.
Nice. Hey, happy White History Month.
Right on.
Shout out to Mark.
Nice.
We got first and foremost, it's White History
thank
Month.
you for that. Thank you, yeah.
You just did it, though. You already did it.
That's right. Okay, yeah, no, sorry. I still panicked. The panic still went. Even though I was good, the panic still went through.
Was that 5? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. You shouted out 5 black white men.
Exactly.
So right
exactly. And 4 black white men and one white black woman, maybe.
Which one is that? Swain?
Swain, right?
Okay.
Yeah, Swain.
Right on, man. But look, man, I called in because I've been wanting to know what the name of that song was that you played. I think you played it both days this weekend. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's the crazy rap song where the guy's like, it's like a parody of gangster rap.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Why?
I don't know. If
it is on the mind. We need the underground rap from. Look, I'm all like tight-lipped with it too. I'm all like, I got the music here.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't even put the playlist up. I don't know. You're just gonna have to figure it out. You're looking for YNJ, I think. YNJ, and that's YN 2 letters space JAY.
That's so black.
We're going to Michigan with this one, and they got a crazy sound.
I knew it was Michigan.
They got a crazy sound coming out of Michigan, sorta, and it's a total troll. But really, on this White History Month, they are well, maybe it's not even white, but look, it's like a trolley kind of thing that he's doing, but
yeah,
it's different. It's
That's why
hypnotic
I like
it. in a beastly sort of way.
Right. There we go. I like that word. Beastly. Yeah, it is real. It's real animalistic.
It's hypnotic.
It reminds me of another rapper that I like to listen to because he's funny the way he says things, and he's from Michigan. I ain't gonna say his name, but he's from Michigan, and I really like the way they were like making fun of rappers. Really, that rapper in particular.
It is.
That I'm thinking about.
It's. If you see it that way, there's plays here. It's like, it's whatever, this stupid music. It's hot. This is the hottest thing ever. But I wonder, there's some, speaking of the RNC, speaking with a lot of coded language here, this is some 4D chess in the rap world, but I'm just messing around.
But And I did want to. I appreciate that though. So you said YNJ, and that's J-A-Y.
Yeah. I can't say the title of the song. Sorry.
I understand.
But it starts
Right
with big. That's the song you want.
Right on. Appreciate that.
And you know and the other one you wanted is probably think you know the luxurious brand Gucci? Something like that. I can't say it on the air. But okay, you're saying, Brian.
I understand. Okay.
You want to say something else?
Yeah. In regards to the Great White Hope, our greatest president, real men don't miss tea times. That's what it comes down to. You guys may have thought he was a little tired, but hey, man, that's what you're feeling like after you get your ear clipped and you play a round of golf. You know, you're not gonna look your best maybe, but as long as you show up, all is well. Yeah,
it's I wonder how if we could grade it in a play-by-play kind of way. What the amount of the legendary status you get from appearing so soon after something like that versus, not having the exact right look. I'm sure it'll go down the annals of history.
Yeah.
Brian.
For sure.
Can I ask you something? Did you want to say something else? Since I have you on the line.
That's all I had. Go right ahead, man.
You called me the other day on my show on Friday, which we do at 4 p.m. If you miss it, we do like a flight thing. It's cool. Check it out. And you called my show. I think it was on the Friday, or maybe it's another day. And I forget what we're talking. We're just talking about a bunch of things, man. And I'm just remembering right now something you said back then, and I thought it was interesting. You said if men knew, I'll paraphrase, if men knew what I know now, so to speak, they wouldn't get married. Do you remember something like that?
I do say that.
Yeah. What do you mean?
I mean that, the only reason that I even got involved with the woman was because I was in hell. Simply.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know any better.
The only reason you got involved with any woman at all?
I'll give it to you in two ways, right? And I was, I actually thought about that as well a little bit after you and I talked about it. And I realized that, I was already, the whole reason why I even started dealing with women in that way is because I just didn't know any better. And that was just the hell that I was in and how I was raised. But then I took it a step further. Like I was remembering why I got married, and I did it because I was just given this idea of that's what I'm supposed to do.
I see.
And I didn't have an example of that. And so it's just, it was all just a product of the fall and me being blind and judgmental.
Is that like the only way to get married?
I don't think so. But I think it is the same. In a sense, yes, it is the same way, but it can happen in different ways. It looks a lot different in different ways. And I'm not saying that, people who are married are doomed or that people just shouldn't get married. I think that I can't, for me to even say that is futile anyway. I have no control over that. And,
yeah, true. It's going to happen.
And
like the fall happens.
Right.
People they're mashing. The masses are mashing. Maybe not the way you want them to. You want birth rates maybe somewhere else. But, hey, the fall happens.
Right.
They're having the babies.
Right. But even in me saying that, and this, most people aren't even listening, and so it's really just I know that is what is true. I know that I never had to get married, and maybe if at some point, if things were different, I shouldn't even go down that road, but
yeah, I guess so.
Right. It just is what it is. And for those who can see it and for those who understand what I'm saying, just smoke on it. Just understand that and move forward. I mean, with that in mind. And it's just rare, man. I don't know. Most people I know just...
What's rare?
It's rare to not want to be married, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe.
Or not want to be involved with, or just to be alone, just to be alone. It's very rare for people to grow up and want to be alone.
Sure. But is that a good thing? Okay, I mean, I was just interested. I just remembered. The reason I asked
I don't understand the question then, I guess.
The question was just what you meant by that, and you answered it, so thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
You have another question about it?
No, not really. The reason I even asked is just because I was unclear then, and it's still something to smoke on, and I guess I just heard once Jesse say, if you
What
knew...
do you think about that, though?
Well, here's what I think.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. The reason why I was going to go to something Jesse said is because that's what even kicked off this kind of way of thinking that may be born out of something that I don't understand. But anyways, here's what I think. I just don't, I don't know if you're entirely wrong. I really have no exact opinion on that. I would like to, I've been thinking lately though about futile mindsets, and I've been thinking about that a bit and seeing that in the right way. Like just mindsets that are just set up to fail in this. For example, recently I spoke about how the advice that comes from the dating experts, especially online and stuff, is really fear-based. It comes from their own traumas, and they're telling you how to not get cheated on, how to not get a woman that's like this and all that. And I'm seeing the futile approach to life that way, where that's just really not an approach to life at all. How can I avoid this happening to me? The truth is the world is messed up. And in fact, if we were going to believe what all the red pill guys are saying, which I don't think they're wrong, I mean, you got statistics sometimes. I don't know. You got the anecdotal evidence. You see it around you. You see it on TikTok. I don't know. But if that's all true, then all that means is that the world is crazy. And so when you go out and get married, you might get cheated on. You can't go around now building up your life how to avoid that and how to stop that. So I'm not even saying all this is what I'm saying is not even saying that you're wrong. It's just futile mindsets is something that's been on my mind. And it's like, if you don't really know, like you say, I hear some people say about just facts and well, let's go crazy with it. Like the moon, NASA lied to us. But if you don't really know, then how do you know that's all a lie? The devil's a lie. Yes, the world is lying to you. But if you don't really know that NASA lied about this, then what the hell? Then go find out. Am I making sense? So anyways, that go find out mentality might also apply to other things here I'm talking about, marriage and other things. But yeah, what do you think about all that spiel?
I don't disagree with you when you talk. Well, I don't disagree with what you just said there, and you made a point how you said like, oh, these people, the dating gurus, are trying to tell you how to avoid things, right? And you mentioned how you see that there is no avoiding things, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with that, but I want to say that what I'm saying is that I agree. Okay, so there's no way to avoid things except for if you can see very clearly. There's a way that, you can see things clear enough, beforehand to where you can avoid things. But you have to be there. Things.
You got to be on the field.
Right. You would have to be there.
People are listening to these I'm sorry, cut you off. These YouTubers are sitting down, the YouTubers going like, yeah, man, this is some on the field reporting.
Right.
But you got to be in that situation, and then you'll really see, wow, this is what a liar's like. This is what I met someone like this before. Right. Is that an out of control person? They say they won't cheat on me, but I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
It's like
Go ahead.
No, you're right. It's like you can't do a composite risk management for something that you haven't laid eyes on. That's something that's not actively in front of you, right? You can't assess what could go wrong and what could we do about that, right? You can't stop pipes from around the world from leaking. All you can do is know how to repair them, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
And it's like the thing about even learning how to repair them, it comes from pain, from broken stuff. So the way that looks in today's world is men are whatever. They have their thing. Women are shallow. They don't, you know what I mean? They want to be above the man. So it's a conflict. So you get cheating, you get broken families, you get divorce. Divorce is totally legal and totally fine. And you know what I'm saying? I'm being accurate, clunky, but that's what that looks like. And you want to learn how to fix those pipes. Well, I don't know. We're using metaphors here, but hey, I think you're following me. You might get dirty a little bit. Anyways, look, I don't know.
Well, I guess that's why it's important to, as Jesse says, just let everything go in one ear and out the other one, man.
True say. True.
You got to know for yourself. And I'm blessed enough to be able to see what I've been through and to be able to learn from it, so that I can know better now. And I'm just keeping it real with you, man.
Thank you, man.
Tell you what I see.
Totally.
That's all I can do.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Not even as you can see, I have no points against what you said. It's just what brought the conversation. Futile mindsets, not even thinking about specifics here. Appreciate your call, sir. Something you want to say here before we let you go?
No, man. God bless Donald Trump.
Let's go. Right on, sir.
Happy White History Month.
Thank you for that. Call me again. 888-775-3773. Yeah. Just appreciate Brian's call there. Something that came to my mind. You could call the anchor baby. Are we blackpilling? Are the people blackpilling? Pro-Trump MAGA furries, they say. What happened to my MAGA movement, bro? Is what I'm hearing. There's a whole bunch of what I'm hearing right now, okay? And it's kind of there's something really interesting happening. And it has to do with appearances. It has to do with the active pivots of the devil. How do I put it? It's so interesting. It's like he sees what we think now looks right. Anyways, look, that's way too up here. That's way too up here for y'all. Let's come down here. Let's anchor down. Let's go to the RNC for a moment, because that's what people are talking about. Republican National Committee had their convention. They have it every 4 years. They do their thing. If you know about it, okay, run by members of the committee, okay, that run like they set up like the policy and fundraising and okay. Michael Whatley, chairperson of the Republican National Committee, made up of a variety of elected, appointed officials who represent the Republican Party. Okay, we're getting the big scope here. They're coming together to talk about it. What's happening? What is Republican? And the images are coming through, the clips on Twitter. People are watching it. They maybe watched the whole thing. I didn't even see much of it. It was just clips that caused me to go look up more. And I'm seeing, at least around where my bubble, they're not happy. They're like, it's brown people, black people. It's okay to be gay. What is going on here? Pandering, they call it. They call it pandering, kissing up. What's that word they use? Whatever. It's just virtue signaling, but to what? Right? Their spidey senses are going off. They're like, what? This is that evil thing, right? That evil force that wants to make things gay, that wants to bring on all these immigrants. And this is the Republicans. So the apprehension. I'm seeing some of this stuff, and I'm like, politics for me isn't something like I grew up with the Republicans or anything like that. I'm an anchor baby from Canada, following since 2016, almost 10 years now. And I'm looking at the GOP, I'm like, this is kind of what I've been seeing. They seem to be really embracing this stuff, where it's we're not racist. We're not homophobic. And I get it. I get the apprehension. I get it. I have it too. It's like, I see fear all over that. All over that. It screams to me the same spirit that has been, I guess, losing futile mentality in a sense for the Republicans of just, well, let's just be friends. I don't know. Okay, fine. We were saying all this gay stuff is crazy. Okay, fine. And always this capitulating. It seems like some of that, right? Seems like a whole bunch of that. Because I get it too. It's not even a hateful thing for a lot of the people that I know, I think. At least to them, it's not hateful. In that they don't want to hurt or harm or do any violence or do anything to these people, to these immigrants, the blacks, whoever I've mentioned, the people that they're unhappy at seeing so with so much fanfare at the Republican National Convention. They're not too happy about it. So like I'm saying, I get it, because it's not even a hateful thing. They just see the hypocrisy, the changing goalposts. For a lot of older folks, it's not the same America. It's so over. A lot of people are saying. And, you know, maybe that's just young people online, but I'm just describing what I'm seeing. It's over. It's over. What was I saying here? Look, I didn't like a whole bunch, too. It's like, that was the vibe, okay? And I'm like, man, what's everybody even talking about? What's everybody so mad about? It's so over. And in a sense, isn't it? In a sense, it is over. Here's what I'm getting at. Kind of going back to my call there with Brian. It's over, I guess. You know, like, to the guy, I'm speaking to the apparitions here. Follow me here, folks. To the guy that's like, I want this traditionalism back. I want to bring women, and it's like, we're just get married under the name of God in the church. And it's like, there's no virgins. You know what I mean? Like, that's a big deal, no, but at the same time, to express the change in society and this society that you're calling back to, that you want back, that you weren't even born in. Yeah, that's not women today. And then for the ladies, the men. And what and so anyways, you following me here? It's over these things. It's over for politics, in a sense. Republicans, this dying thing. It's this like dinosaur mentality that seems to need to kowtow and they see the youth. They see the youth. They're browner, more liberal, communist. And they're like, okay, well, we gotta let's get on TikTok and be. You understand what I'm saying here? It's like dying. So it is over. But what I'm trying to say with that is, with this futile mentality stuff, why do we want any of those dead things? You know, our parents failed in a sense. You want to know why? You know, the younger generation here, and they're not getting it, I guess. Look, they're listening to the failures. There's got to be a revival, like a new thing going forward, I guess. There's got to be a different way of looking at things. And that doesn't happen at convention, okay? It happens quietly, individually. But okay, so I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the black pill. I'm like, I'm seeing the fanfare. I'm like, okay, whatever, like America, how people are saying it's over. And then, it's like, okay, but let's see why the people are so mad. Let's see what they're looking at. Okay, let's see. I pull it up. I'm like, let's see what she's saying here. Oh, I remember her. She was on the Fallen State. I totally remember her. Amber Rose, and I'm sure you've heard of her by now. We've heard her mentioned. And so I come across the video. I'm like, they bring the tattooed, I really wasn't thinking this tattooed lady. Like, I did think, like I said the other day, the people, because it was in the news. This was all planned. People are saying they used Trump's momentum to push this agenda. This is how it was planned. It's been like this, okay? So calm down. But I'm like, Amber Rose is going to speak there. It's like Republicans, there they go again, doing it. Who are they going to get next? Some disabled person? So I'm like, let's listen to her speak. And I'm sure you've heard some of this already, but look, this was my reaction. Like, I know I could have just, the videos were there. I'm like, let me hear her out.
My entire family is racially diverse. And I believe the left-wing propaganda that Donald Trump was a racist. My father said, no, he's not, Amber. What are you talking about? And when I insisted, he said, prove it. So to prove my father wrong, I did my research and looked into all things Donald Trump. People have to do their research. I watched all the rallies, and I started meeting so many of you, his red hat wearing supporters. I realized Donald Trump and his supporters don't care if you're black, white, gay, or straight. It's all love. And that's when it hit me. These are my people. This is where I belong. So I let go of my fear of judgment, of being misunderstood, of getting attacked by the left, and I put the red hat on too. Thank you. Love you too. I never felt more free and more love for my country than I do now. I want to thank my father, who's in the audience tonight, for opening my eyes. He served over 20 years in the U.S. military. Thank you for your service, Dad. Where's he at? I love you, Dad. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. When I met the president and Melania for the first time, he was kind and generous and funny as hell. Very funny. The First Lady was gracious and smart with a smile that will brighten up any room. If you're watching this tonight, you know our country is in trouble. Just like me. When you go to the store and buy food for your family, you're shocked. When you fill up your gas tank, you're pissed. I know I am. And when you turn on the news, you are just exhausted. Inflation is out of control. And you know in your heart it was not like this under Donald Trump. My message to you tonight comes from a humble place. The left told me to hate Trump, and even worse, to hate the other side, the people who support him. When you cut through the lies, you realize the truth. American families were better when Donald Trump was president. We were safer, wealthier, and stronger. A vote for Donald Trump is a vote to put money back in our pockets and good food on our kids' plates. Yes. Or, as Trump would say, it's a vote to make America great again. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just let you watch the whole thing as I saw it, right? I just let you watch the whole thing there, okay? Might as well. Let you watch the whole thing there, okay? Amber Rose. Amber Rose bringing it home. Now, where was I? You know, it's funny talking about men, women dating sometimes. All the men talking about subduing women. You know, here's a little comment on subduing women. Like on subdue. Talk about subduing women. Okay, look, we're talking about rappers. We're talking about attention. The cameras, Instagram, all the social media, the men want her. They're salivating over her. She's doing the slut walk movement. She's got legions. You could say she had legions. Maybe she still does. I don't know. But look, talk about subduing the women. And about this, look, I realized that watching this and just listening to her words and listening to her speak and seeing the reactions to her, I realized that highlights a failure. It highlights a failure in us, a futile mentality in us. Because everything I said about the Republicans is true, right? People are saying what they're saying. But if you're watching this, what does she say that's wrong? What did she say that's wrong? You remember what you thought? Remember what you thought at one point? Remember what you did at one point? You know, we're the rational right? We're the rational side, free speech. Let's talk it out. I mean, do you know the America that you're living in? Do you know who your neighbors are? Yeah, they don't put it out there on social media as much as everything is on a camera. Yeah, they may seem certain ways and they look all clean sometimes, but they got angry, bitter lives sometimes, nasty stuff sometimes, secrets that you wouldn't want out, stuff that, you know, they're not proud. Look, do you know the America you're living in? We got the youth celebrities, the celebrities of today for the young streamers are out there doing some wild things that you don't, you see what I'm getting at? What I'm trying to say here is that that's kind of like your family here. That's your neighbor. That's your brother and sister here in America. The degenerate. And do you remember what you used to think? You remember how not based you were? Remember, you weren't always this based. Now you're watching it. Now you watch the American Anchor Baby. I'm not laughing. You're laughing. You weren't always this based. And now all of a sudden it's like stuck up. You know what I mean? A little bit here. The America that you're living in. A little bit here, like kind of a being realistic, so to speak. And I know I have callers on hold. I'll get right to you. Appreciate the patience. I'll get right to you here. 888-775-3773. I'm talking about future, like I'm talking about a different way of thinking. I'm talking about just a different perspective, a different movement. I almost don't even want to say that because it's not about a movement. This awakening happens individually, happens quietly in your basement room on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm serves you up a strange video. This black man telling you. No, anyways, look, and I'm thinking about a movement that's different, that understands, that sees Amber Rose, and it's like she has those tats on her head, but look at the look at the lack of male influence. Look at the out of control female ego, the mama spirit. It's like, I care about my children. Let me put it on my forehead like I love my children. Yeah, that's America. That's your sister. You know what I'm saying here a little bit? It's not about accepting it like so much of the Republican, what so much of the Republican camp seems to want for what seems to me is power and votes, justifying wrong, okay? But anyway, let me get here. A movement that's different, understands a little bit, doesn't idolize, okay? And it's like this person comes up and says the right thing and says the N-word or whatever, and it's like, this person's amazing, but then they do something else. This person sucks. Okay, so let's not do that. A movement that forgives, okay, that sees things differently. Even Sketch recently, I talked about that guy, right? That guy who's like the streamer, and his OnlyFans came out. He did this public apology and all that. Even all that differently. I was saying that the world shouldn't baby him, and I was highlighting just how degenerate it would become. But I'm not saying the world is showing him love, but even forgiveness. You follow me a little bit here? Ramble Stream. All those things should be forgiven. Lily Gaddis. Yeah, she has a whatever, messed up life, but why are you idolizing her? Why is she the bar? Why is she your bar? Like I'm all of this to say that it shows a failure in the people who are so nasty. Don't you see this failure? Don't you see that their bar is so low? Because if they were this stuff that they say that Amber Rose is not, then it's like, I guess it wouldn't matter. Other than whatever criticisms you might have of the Republican approach. But look, I just want to speak on that a little bit. Because what did she say that was wrong? Remember all the things, all the very unbased things you used to think? I mean, look at this conversation. Maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from a little bit. Some of the conversations going on Twitter, and then we'll get right to calls. Here's some of the conversations going on that have kind of got the brain juices percolating. Thank you, Elon Musk. We're all brainiacs now on X. It's amazing. So this is what some of the conversation is. Check this out. Look at this graphic. Here's a little graphic for you. Boom. Visualizing America's population by race. Okay? And we're getting this from visual capitalists, collaborators with all these people. The United States is a unique mosaic of cultural diversity. Almost 40% of its people belong to racial or ethnic minorities. Here we visualize the breakdown of the U.S. population in 2019 and how this will change over time. You see this area circled with this marker-looking thing? That whole area is not white. We're talking like 140 million. So now when, you see what I'm saying? 140 million. You know, I want to know how much is illegal. I forget. But the questions come up of, okay, deportation in such large amounts. Are we really believing the RNC that they're really going to deport a whole bunch of people? Or that kind of thought? So these are some of the conversations going down. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 on Twitter. This is the racial breakdown of the USA right now. If immigration was halted entirely, this is what the country is. Send them back, BS is 140 million people. That's what this guy is saying. You know, as a comment on that, send them back, I think that's just about illegals. It could be about others, but I don't know how feasible or realistic that is. So if y'all are thinking 140 million people, send them back, I don't know if you're being realistic. If you ask me, I don't think it's too much to ask. I don't even know how big the number is. Even if it's a huge number, if it's illegal, it's illegal. But I don't know if I'm being obtuse there. And the questions of legal immigration too, that's, the people are different that are coming in, right? But what I'm trying to say is these conversations on Twitter are kind of interesting. No, it's for the people who are, I guess, thinking rigidly. I don't know how to put this. Here's Uber Oyo on X. He's saying this is an outsider. He doesn't live in America. This person says some observations from an outsider about the hard right in America. So this person says, Nick Fuentes is fully realistic about America's demographics. He doesn't see any chance of the U.S. organizing around race, so he proposes Christianity being the hardline criteria, meaning you cannot hold political office if you are not Christian. And Christianity is the unifying identity in multiracial America. On the other hand, this is the other hard right faction, according to this person. This other faction, Curtis Yarvin, etc. See how ignorant I am, but some of this makes sense. They are equally realistic about this, but propose another alternative, a colorblind meritocracy. This is a non-religious and somewhat libertarian. The idea, of course, is that high IQ whites, Jews, and minorities will be able to outcompete the other races. It is a bit strange how the two hardest factions have already conceded that in America, ethnostate is over, despite how much white identity dominates online discourse. So I'm trying to say that there's got to be a different way of thinking, okay? That's, I guess, all I'm trying to say. It's some of the thoughts have been percolating, seeing these conversations on Twitter, seeing the reactions on Amber Rose. What did she say that was wrong? Let's have, where's the love, the failure of creativity and realistic thought with love from our own side, I'm noticing. And of course, plenty of attention to the failures of the Republicans and the old way of thinking, and not discounting the noise from the people who see the pitfalls of the slippery slope and the capitulating to evil But I'm just, and to wrap this all up, a lot of us don't know what we're saying. We talk about God, for example, to wrap this up and get right to calls. This lady, Harmeet, what's her name? Harmeet Dillon? I don't even know who she is. Look, she's talking about this, they're talking about this religious thing that happened. This quasi-religious moment. This, she's like I hear she's like a nice lady and like does some great work. She was like a lawyer. I may have even defended patriots. Look, I really don't know too much. I'm sure she did this like prayer thing, right? And they're talking a lot. This is like some mess. They're saying this is a prayer to a demon. Look at this. The RNC featured a prayer to a demon, they're saying. Some are saying this is blasphemous. To wrap this up, okay?
तुम्हारी गत मित तुम ही जानी नानक दास सदा कुर्बानी. Dear Waheguru, our one true God, we thank you for creating America as a unique haven on this earth where all people are free to worship according to their faith. We seek your blessings and guidance for our beloved country. Please bless our people with wisdom as they vote in the upcoming election. And please bless with humility, honesty, skill, and integrity all those who conduct the election.
Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I grew up in Canada where even this kind of was still, there was a time where, I mean, I guess Canada was already diverse. Look, they let in the Anchor Babies family, and it was like easy peasy for them. But I remember there was like a moment where the floodgates opened and there was like a whole bunch more foreigners and they were all like wearing stuff that I didn't see was foreign. And we did songs and stuff, and it was like, how do I put it? Like silly, I guess. It seemed foreign. Anyways, all of this, all I'm trying to say is that I see the ridicule. I get it a little bit. Like it seems different, foreign, like. And then people say, oh, this is like the RNC. This is the Republicans doing their same old shtick here. But, the people saying blasphemy, our one true God, Waheguru. Waheguru, our one true God. It's not a name I've ever heard. What do you know about blasphemy and all of that? On blasphemy, on like what it is, on God's name. Think about this for a second. People fight about this. Don't they have like wars about this? I can't think of something more shallow. And they fight over the Bible and stuff. On God's name. What the heck do you know about God's name? Didn't they say, isn't it like, aren't we like not allowed to know that or something? Or they say it's Yahweh, right? It's not Waheguru, it's Yahweh. But then you don't even know Yahweh. Like, I can't help but nitpick, okay? I'm not going to try. Look, I'm not nitpicking to derail anyone's spidey senses of the falsehoods of the Republican Party. But Trump is there's an interesting thing to think about here. I was listening to Joel's show too there. And looking at Amber Rose, like, just think about the people you know yourself. You were not this based. You weren't always this based, okay? And your journey to based started inside. Maybe you got distracted and then went flat earth with it. But it started inside. Just like in Amber Rose, maybe, and others. Okay? Look, I'm talking ish, but it's the truth. I'm just talking and just saying, but I'm not lying. I'm having fun, but I'm not lying. And if you think I am, call me 888-775-3773. Or if I'm wrong about something, let's talk about it. We got more things to get into. I do want to get to Serge out of Texas. I do appreciate you being so patient and holding.
For sure, Nick. What's going on, man? How are you?
All is well, man. Having ourselves a Tuesday here on the network. And yourself, sir, go ahead.
Good. I'm well. Nick, I just wanted to say, like, the red pill men are lying. And the red pill is supposed to be the truth. It's supposed to be a light to people, and it's supposed to stand on truth. And what they stand on is not truth at all. They stand on. I'm not saying that they're not quoting certain things right about the women and the men, but what they're standing on is not spirituality. So in essence, the red pill community is wrong.
And what is it to stand on spirituality?
It's to look within and be the example. I think that men were created first, and I think that we're supposed to be the first examples across the board. And I think that we're not seeing that from the red pill community or from men in general.
And what's the right example in context with the red pill? What are they getting wrong? What's the right example?
Not just the red pill community, but what I notice amongst men in general is that we don't want to be leaders. And an example of that is we don't really know what's right. So we, like, for example, and so the question that I posed that they prompt you with was, sex is marriage. A lot of men, even in bond, are going to struggle with that. They're going to disagree, but it is. Until we see that, we won't see the light. And the reason why I say that is because to not believe that sex is marriage is somewhat advocating for casual S.
But you were saying, I got you. So you're saying sex is marriage. I do want to get to that, but where was I? I was taking my time.
With the red pill? You're talking about what exactly are they doing that's not the example?
Yeah. You said they're not leading. That's right. And you said they're not example because they're not leading. You said in general men are not leading. And so how do you lead?
You lead with spirit. You lead with being the example. And they're leading with things. Does that make sense?
Spirit is leading by example. Leading by example is, spirit is, spirit is being the example. Being the example is to lead, and to lead is to have spirit.
Correct. And there's no spirit amongst them. There's no, and I love these guys, man.
How do I wait? But I'm like, let's say I don't have any. Let's say I don't know. Let's say I'm out of that loop. How do I get in there? Like, because let's say I started with. Let's say I started with knowing that I'm not the example. I'm okay. You got to lead. Okay. All right, Serge, I got to lead. And then you tell me, well, you gotta have spirit. Okay, what's spirit? You got to be the example. If I'm out of that loop, how do I get in there?
How do you get in that loop?
Yeah.
I think suffering will have to cause that. I think it's so perfectly designed that if you're not in that loop, you'll see it eventually. That's what I think, Nick.
Sex is marriage. Okay, I thought sex was sex. So sex is marriage.
No.
So sex is not sex, and marriage is not marriage.
No, because that's the mechanism that got. So like if you are a guy and you want to live a life without marriage, one will think that that's fine. But if I threw in that sex is marriage, you notice that guys are not living sexless lives. So God, it seems, right? And I'm going to stand on this until I'm proven wrong, because it doesn't seem that nobody can accurately prove this to be wrong, that sex is marriage, because men are going to want sex. And because men are going to want sex, they need to do the right thing when they want to have sex, which is they need to make a full commitment. They need to understand what that commitment is.
Okay. So how is that telling me that sex is marriage, though? Because you said you wanted to be proved. You're going to stand on that until you're proven wrong.
Yeah.
So tell me your understanding, I guess. So far, I haven't heard the proof of sex being marriage.
Right. So sex is, most people believe in this thing called soul ties. You do or you don't. But most people believe that sex is a mechanism that kind of ties us together. And even some Christians say Christians can say it clouds our judgment because it's a spiritual act. Nobody can deny that sex is a spiritual act. It's not just a fleshly act.
And what's a spiritual act as opposed to a fleshly act? Describe the difference between. Describe the. Yeah, what's a spiritual act and what's a fleshly act?
Well, I think everything is spiritual, but we can be so caught in the reality of what we see through our eyes. So I don't really know how to better explain that.
I'm not getting it, man. I'll put it like this. No. Look, Serge, I can't convince you. Here's the thing. I just wanted to hear you out because I just wanted to hear what you would say, but I can't convince you that sex is not marriage because it's like me trying to convince you. It's like me trying to convince someone who's looking at a red couch and they're like, that's blue. And I'm like, no, let's say you're looking at a couch and you're like, that's a guitar. And I'm like, well, no, that's a couch. You're like, nope, until someone proves me that that's not a guitar, I'm not going to believe that's a couch. Well, I literally can't convince you because sex is sex and marriage is marriage. And then there's a bunch of words you said, but I'm still not quite convinced or I don't quite buy what you're saying.
I think it's the Western terminologies. We think marriage is commitment. That if you both, and that's what it breaks down to. Like if you look at, and I'm not talking about an intellectual perspective because I'm no intellectual, man. I don't care about the etymology of the word and it breaks down into this. If you look it up in Hebrew or Greek, listen, marriage is simply commitment. Commitment.
No, but you said it's sex.
We don't know what that is.
Oh, I'm cutting you off. I'm following you. I'm actually following you, sir.
Marriage
so
is commitment.
Gotcha.
And you need the commitment before the S.
So marriage is a commitment, and in this framework of this commitment, sex is involved in there, and you have some rules about it. But that's marriage, and sex is in there somewhere.
Right, meaning the proper understanding before you go to that.
How did you come up with all this? Because sex is sex and marriage is marriage, and I don't.
What is marriage?
Well,
Can you
marriage
tell me
is
what marriage is.
Marriage is this union between man and woman, where two flesh become one. Yes?
Where you learn that?
The Bible. I'm probably not wrong though, but look, it don't say it's marriage is sex. But look, we don't even have to go there. We don't even have to go there. We don't even have to go there. Just keep it simple. Look, I'm looking at a mouse. I'm looking at a mouse, and it is a mouse. And if someone were to tell me, no, that mouse is something else, I'd be like, I can't help you. I don't know how to even talk to you. And everything you say after that is just fugazi. It's psychobabble. Because anything you say after you tell me that what I'm looking at is not what it is retarded.
Yeah.
It's not in the real world.
Men, what it does is, Nick, it attempts to hold men. Men have to hold men accountable just as well as the women have to hold women accountable.
Okay, go on.
And the standard should be for men. It should be that when we have this is directly in line with the Bible, by the way. I don't know where, but as I say, you'll begin to see it. If you have S with a woman, you must be fully committed. So essentially what I'm saying is men that have fully commit.
Yeah.
So based off of what I know to be full commitment is there's an understanding of headship, there is the divine order, meaning that the men work, the women they're at home, and this is a lifetime, and the men cannot do away with the woman in their weak state.
Let's say, do you give advice to women too?
Say it again.
Do you give advice to women as well?
Advice? Oh, I wouldn't say this is advice, but
no. So let's say a lady comes up and she's got some questions for you, and she's like, "Okay, I hear you, Serge. Commitment is important." Oh, first, I guess let me ask: are you able to tell this in someone? Let's say you're out there with, it's important to, I guess, set yourself up for the right marriage, and it's like you're looking at the prospects and you're worried, you're thinking about these things that are important. This commitment is important. Are you able to see that in someone else is what I'm asking. And while you're dating, is this something you should watch out for? That's my question. Is that something you should watch out for? Is this person really committed?
I think Jesse got this part right. There's really nothing. That's why the red pillars are getting it wrong. Jesse's getting it right. Because he's standing more so in the truth. There's nothing in particular you can watch out for. It doesn't matter about her tattoos, her hair, or but I get why that will point out some things. But I think the real thing you should do is, watch out for going unconscious in that moment, because the moment you start going unconscious, you begin to, be blinded by the fact that she's beautiful, just stuff like that, like she really likes me, and you get lost into that. So just watch out for that. That's the only thing I can really say. There's nothing in particular to watch out for, because it just kind of naturally flows. Like if you're talking to a woman and she's not getting with the program, she wants to be a working career woman, you just, you naturally just go your separate ways. So you don't really have to watch out for that. You should follow what works. And we know the divine order works. And in essence, all I'm saying is,
when you say works, what do you mean?
Works meaning following the divine order, following God's order of things.
So you follow God's order, which may be a little unclear for some, but you're following God's order in dating, and you want to do it this way. You get married in God's order, however you're saying it. And you're saying it can work. What can work? What are you saying about that?
The marriage can work because you can see in that marriage, because you're following the order. But once you come out of the order, then you can begin to say, hey, but this is out of order. So we know, because you're going to come out of order. No relationship is going to be perfect. But, there's a standard, and that's the standard that
What's
we
out
come
of order?
Into. Well, when you begin to, let's say, for example, you're dating a woman, and she begins to get caught up in the thoughts, right? And you try to settle her down, and then you can begin to, settle her down with her thought process, because she and you both understand that, let's say, like, all thoughts are lies, so to speak, right? And so she'll begin to know, because now there's a standard upon the relationship, which is seek God, versus the standard in the red pill community, which will be level up, get your money, she just better obey type of thing.
I'm squirming in my chair, grasping for something that I now understand something here. But hey, you can't. No, the standards are with you, man. The standards just with you. The standards is only with you. Everything else is like a mistake. Everything else is an illusion. There is no relationship. You understand? There's nothing between two people.
If we don't hold
that's not even real.
Men,
there is no relationship.
If we don't hold that standard to men, that S is marriage. The alternative is what? What is marriage? The alternative is what? Break that down. How does that look?
Marriage between one man, one woman. What do you mean? As the alternative to what?
What is marriage? Wait,
the alternative to what though? You're asking the alternative. Listen to what you just asked me. You said if we don't push sex as marriage, then the alternative is what? How about reality? Sex is sex, and marriage is marriage. You want to say sex is marriage? It's just those are two different things. I don't know what to tell you.
What
You're
is
saying
marriage?
If you don't push that, I mean, and I'm not. Let me jump into the pool here a little bit with you, Serge. Okay, Let me not be too obtuse. I think I know what you're getting at a little bit here. You're saying if we don't look, they're out there having sex anyways. If we tell them if you have sex with a woman, you're basically married under the eyes of God. That'll make men more moral, right? They'll be out there thinking, or they'll be thinking, okay, well, actually, this is my wife, not just some person is that what you're getting at?
I don't care about morality. I care about what needs to be done. And I know that if we don't teach it,
that just
men are
came
going
out of
to
your
say
imagination, though. It's just like
No,
if we
it's
tell
not
them if we tell them
because-
sex is marriage, then they will get married. Like you're just making stuff up. Like they'll hear. Or what about? Let me just throw another scenario at you. If I tell them sex is marriage, let's say you go up to someone and tell them sex is marriage, they'll go like, oh, no, it's not, and then they go back to doing what they're doing anyways. How about maybe that reaction from society?
Well, I'll say this. By the way, I've been looking at the chat the whole time. That's so funny.
No. You got to be in the moment, man, or else you won't be yourself.
I'm in the moment.
You'll just be
You'll
be a chat. You'll be the chat spirit. You'll be the will of the chat.
Yeah. No, but I think it's also important to see what the feedback is, and I can see from the men there's not a male in the chat that wants to be accountable for sex is marriage, which further proves me to believe.
But accountable for what? Accountable for something you just made up?
Well, because
accountable for sex is marriage. Sex is sex, and you can already be accountable for that. Sometimes people don't want to be accountable, and they're accountable for that. But sex already has its own penalties and accountabilities and stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, every male in the chat.
That's God's job, not yours.
Last partner, so to speak. Lord, that word partner. Last S partner. They made no proper commitment to it, more than likely. Not all, but most, I'm sure. So I'm saying that the woman should be given an offering, so to speak. And I know we're not in those times, but the offering should still be there. And I think we've gone so far away from that. So far away.
I guess I like to keep it simple. I don't think what's wrong with people is that they just see sex wrong. If they just understood that sex is marriage, if they just believed that or read it somewhere or really was, it doesn't make sense. People just don't want to get married, or they just want to be the way they are. If things were different, and that could mean a lot, they would be getting married and they would be in families. But things are not that way, and I don't think it's because they don't know that sex is marriage. Hey, anyways, man, Serge. Appreciate your call, sir. Any last thing you want to say here?
Yeah, if we did tell the men that, then it makes it impossible for them to have casual, because the full commitment has to be there. The woman has to be in the home, right? She would have to be on the bank account. There would have to be a full commitment there, and most men are willing to have the S, but they're not willing to move the woman in. They're not willing to share the accounts and begin that role. They won't do that. That's it. That's my last words. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, call me again, Serge. Appreciate it.
I will. Bye.
You can't make someone have commitment. You just can't. I don't know what to tell you. You can't do that. Here, just think of it like, yo, did you know that? Yo, you're marrying that girl if you do that? Whoa, bro. Yeah, I'm committed now. Yo, sex is marriage? So if I don't have sex, well, look, for what Serge is talking about, if I'm going to wade even deeper into where he's going, for what Serge is talking about, because it's not even like he pulled it out of somewhere. But here, if I go deep into my mind, into what I learned about history, look, if to have what Serge is talking about, you need like an Islamic caliphate. You know what I mean? Where you would get like killed. You'd get like killed if you had sex out of wedlock or something like that. And I don't even know if that happens in the Islamic caliphates. I think it's like they just say that. And then it's like the peasants, they'll like chop their hands off. It's like, yeah, see, we're tough, religious. But, the pharaohs, as it is in most societies, they're drinking it up, doing their thing, even though their Quran says. Anyways, for what Serge is talking about, you need like penalty of death if you were to not marry who you had sex with. And it's like, I mean, wasn't that tried, I guess? Something like that? I mean, if you want to go back there, I don't know. I guess I'm sounding like a progressive, huh? I guess I'm being a little progressive here. If you want to go back there to the ancient times, we're going to be progressives over here. But commitment, things that were on my mind. 888-775-3773. You want to talk to the anchor baby here? We got super chats here. Let me please a moment for our super chatters. Pablo, Thank you for the super chat. Says, marriage is fundamentally a union. In many ways, sex symbolizes this union by representing the physical and emotional intimacy shared between partners, figuratively or literally. I say semantics. That's how it goes with these things, words and how we feel about it. It's like, well, no, marriage is not a union. It's a government crap. This is a union. This is a marriage because we did it in my house and we were listening to JLP when we did it. But we're talking about the same concepts, right? And in this conversation, the concept is commitment. And there's an illogical conclusion here. There's a couple of illogical conclusions. The illogical conclusion of change a word and you cause commitment in someone, like that's retarded. And then also calling something what it's not. Sex is sex. And that doesn't need, look, marriage is marriage. And now that you can argue about, and it could maybe mean different things, but it's not this. It's not this microphone I'm holding, right? And sex is sex. And I think on that, we need a lot less deliberating. I guess we can argue about that too, actually. But look, I think you know what that is. Look. Okay. Do you see? And for those who think that's like kind of simplistic, like, no, you got to like, you're not even. That is a beautiful way of living. For anyone who thinks that it's not intellectually honest enough, what he's getting at is whatever. Now I can't even really put his position in words. Maybe it makes less sense than I thought. But look, what was I saying here? Look. Live simply. Look, it's things are what they are, and you don't need to get crazy with it. And if you can't, and if it's not simple, if you can't understand it, if it's not clear, just ignore it. If it's coming from me or anybody, if it's unclear, just do not even give it an ounce of energy, please. You don't got that kind of time. Okay, Trump needs you. Okay. You don't have that kind of time. Trump needs you, okay? This is your sign to activate. Patriots, activate. Manchurian candidate, Patriots, activation words. I'm stealing some memes from some other patriots. Peacefully activate. Peacefully activate. Love stream. Okay, folks, what are we doing here now? What's next? Super chats, where was I? Lucky Larry, thank you so much, Lucky Larry. Says, Surge, worried about, spells it surge, like a surge in a surge in commitment or power. Surge, worried about commitment instead of commandment. Get him, Lucky Larry. Career ended. Time to just be Surge. Not even husband or wisdom. Just, anyways, I'm just messing around. Lucky Larry. I don't know. Maybe you're next. Maybe you'll just be Larry. And equal opportunity stream. Kale Samogi with the super chat says, Nick, there is something to what Serge is saying. Jesus told the woman at the well, you had 5 husbands, but only 3. You've had 5 husbands, but only 3 of them were your husbands. What? Is that what it says? I don't know the story. The anchor baby's such an ignorant Christian. He says husbands twice. He says you've had 5 husbands, but only 3 of them were your husbands. The woman at the well. John 4:18. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is now thy husband. In that saidst thou truly. The woman saith unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Wait, I'm not reading the right one. Or am I confused? We're going 21st century with it. For thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband. In that thou sayest truly. Look, I'm going to need help. Where are the Christians at? I'm going to need my Christians on this one. No, I think it says the man you're living with is not your husband. Yeah, that's why I'm confused, Hake. So I am reading that it's not thy husband. And I don't know the context here, the story surrounding what I just read, but we are getting it somewhat straight here. Thank you, chat. Where are my Christians at? The anchor baby needs help. 888-775-3773. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Appreciate that. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. How you doing, Ohio Sentinel? Out there watching Ohio. Our Sentinel on guard. What's it like out there? How's Ohio looking? Huh? You heard the activation phrase, right? Patriots are activated. Ohio Sentinel on guard. Any more shooters out there, huh? No, I don't even know what I'm saying now. A lot of Ohio people went to the Pennsylvania Trump rally. That's true. Or at least a couple of Ohio callers on the JLP. Yeah, exactly. On the JLP show. Like 2 of them. Making their way. Do we need some Anchor Baby geography as well? I hate Yahoo. And I know I should repent. But I hate Yahoo. I hate Yahoo. And I know I should repent, and I'm probably going to a bad place for that. So I'm sorry, Yahoo. But we're going Ohio to Pennsylvania. And I see calls coming in. Thank you. 888-775-3773. How many times have I flown over America? And I need a visual look-see here. A little Anchor Baby geography. Okay. 3-hour flight, really? No, 5-hour drive. What's the flight time looking like? Really? 3 hours? Oh, yeah. This is farther than I thought, really. I don't know what I'm looking at, folks, but I swear when I fly, you know how I do. Always flying around America. When I fly from, for example, California to Tejas, that's what we're talking about. 3 hours there. Almost 4 hours? That's like 1 hour more than my flight from LAX to YYZ. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I hate Google too now. Let's get to Pablo, New Jersey. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. I'm calling because of what happened with Trump and the assassination attempt.
Thank you. Yeah, speak on it. More than welcome to.
Yeah, I haven't. Usually, I listen to what you guys have been saying, but this week I haven't necessarily heard what people have been talking about or what the callers have been saying. And I've been changing my mind a few times this week, so I wanted to call in just to speak on it.
Please, yeah. Changing your mind on what?
So first impression, like looking at the news, it was relatively sad. And at the same time, I know you probably shouldn't feel too strongly about it. He's fine, right? So it was good to see that he was fine right away. But then you start thinking about like, oh, how does this happen? And from there, I kind of had the feeling that you guys had. I actually did watch you guys yesterday a little bit in the morning where someone called it. Someone called in and they were being. Go ahead.
I cut you off, please.
Someone called in and they were being very skeptical and they were doubting, oh, this is staged and things like that, right? And I was on your side. I was feeling like, yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that it's being staged. But watching the convention yesterday and just watching how, to a certain extent today, I just felt like all of this stuff is way too crazy to be real, and there's no way this is not being staged at this point. Like it's just a WWE.
Wait, what's way too crazy?
How does someone actually on the roof and get that shot off, and all the news about the Secret Service kind of having a view of the guy already, and people on the ground knowing about the guy, and there's no message about it.
I'd love to talk about it, man. I'd love to talk about it, but hold on. I'm down. How'd you get there from RNC, though? I want to follow your mind here a little bit. We're doing we're doing an EVA here. It's dangerous, but we're jumping into the mind of Pablo. How'd you get there?
So day by day.
Yeah, because you saw the RNC, and that caused you to say what you're saying now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So let me get to, that makes sense. So the RNC yesterday, it just felt like they were not taking it serious. It felt kind of like a joke as to what just happened. And it was like, oh, let's just move on and everything is okay. And to me, it's like, wait, after all of the attempts on Trump, as far as the persecution and what has happened before, and now this, is like everyone seems like, hey, everything is all right. Let's just keep going with whatever we were doing before. And on top of it, they're leaning more to the center instead of being, instead of standing up for, like, look, we are.
Pablo?
We are trying to do things in the right way instead of just following the crowd.
I got you. What would you like to see different? And that's already a point right there, not following the crowd. So what else would you like to have seen different?
This sounds terrible, but the last lady, with the one true God, to me, I was like, all right, this is like, I'm not following this.
Wahe Guru?
I'm not even voting for Trump.
What you got to say?
I'm done.
What do you know about Wahe Guru? You don't know.
I know nothing about this.
You don't love Wahe Guru? Now, what if but hold on, slow down. What if I told you Wahe Guru was the one true God above all?
Yeah, maybe this. I wouldn't believe it because I've never heard about this before, right? So yeah.
Let's without focus on the name. You just heard someone say, "Oh, the one true God, the God above all," and then they gave him a name you don't recognize. Wouldn't you say? "Oh, I've never heard him called that," but okay, yeah, right on. I'm pro one true God above all too. No?
I mean, we can say that, but they're obviously going for the optics of, like, we're talking about different religion here.
I'm following you, man. Look, but what would you? I'm following you. You've made points. You've answered my question. What would you like to see different? And I'm just wondering. Let me ask you. Did you know this? Did you know this piece of info? Did you know that Amber Rose, for example, and Harmeet Dillon or whatever her name was? Did you know these names were already slated to speak at the RNC like a long time ago?
Of course, and yeah, I didn't expect them to change so quickly.
So that this was the plan, but when I say a long time ago, let's go even before RNC. You know that this is how it is, right? Like, you understand this, what I'm saying? Like, as far as we could tell, the Republican strategy is kind of all in on this colorblind. I guess I've heard this called this way. So allow me to be shallow and steal some intellectual words here, but a colorblind meritocracy. And then they seem to be all in with this. Okay, we're Republicans, we're conservative. Okay, there's God involved and Christian, but it's also all you guys. Okay, it's also we're accepting and that. Okay, they're pretty much all in on that, right?
Right.
So is it really a surprise? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, would you like to have seen, like, I don't know, like Vatican vibes and I don't know.
I get your question, but
that's just not the Republican Party.
And that's why I'm kind of saying that I kind of flipped, because after what happened to Trump, it feels like he wasn't. There's no change coming from that. So
no, that should be clear.
What I'm trying to say is relating to what the caller to JLP said yesterday about he thinks that it's staged or Trump is in on it in some way. That's what I'm getting at.
Thank you for recentering the conversation, because everything I was saying is related to that. So allow me to, like, bow tie it. Here's what I'm getting at. It's like if we're following each other right now in this conversation, I've made it clear, I think, that this is all, that there's no secret plays here. No, there's no surprise. There's no conspiratorial play here. This is Republicans running the way they're supposed to be running. So
Right.
for you to see that and then be like, it's all a lie. For you to see that and be like, no, if anything, everything is still within our our margins of information here. You're right. It's still reasonable. Like, you don't need to go unreasonable with it. That's all I'm trying to say. So, and for anyone expecting otherwise, you're not living in reality. Oh, for you to think Trump got shot. Okay, well now it's like, yeah, sorry, we were joking, folks. No, we're not playing around anymore. Trump got shot. Okay, so it's over. No more homos. No more. You know what I mean? Like, no. What are you talking about? Like, no, that's not. No.
That's great.
This is generations. What Trump woke up in people should be is, and I'm not trying to cope here. Look, you can have criticisms of the right wing. You can even have criticisms of Trump. We're allowed to do it. There's plenty of good ones. But this is also to say, so there's not a cope what I'm about to say, but it's like, I think what we want, or what some of you guys want out of Trump and the right wing right now, it took generations to get here. It might take some time. Anyways, not trying to cope. It's not like you can't criticize, but hey, it might take some time here. And look at in that time, look at what happened. And now here's where I might lose you, but hey, I'd say maybe you don't believe in God. In this time, people like Amber Rose, tatted up on the forehead, up on the stage, saying some pretty, like, what can you say is even wrong? Saying some stuff that sounds like people I know, friends and family I know. And they're like, yeah, I went to my dad and I thought it was racist, and then I found out it wasn't. I bet you some of you guys sounded like that not too long ago. So anyways, you could follow me so far? Something you want to say about that?
Oh, yeah. I think that's why I actually wanted to call, because I completely agree with that. Thinking about it, I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit because of the Amber Rose thing, but
sorry.
But what I was,
when I gotta get it out. Sorry.
Because I wanted to reply a little bit earlier, but I agree, and that's why I wanted to call, because ultimately I don't think Trump should be doing something different. It makes sense. What he's doing does make sense, and like, if I was in his shoes, what else can you do, and everything. It does play into like what they should be working towards, and I've been thinking about this because I noticed that I had a certain reaction to that last lady, and Amber Rose and other people, but that last lady also. I was thinking it makes sense to have an appeal to that, and you touched on that, and I always, before this, I always actually wanted.
It's total appeal. Can I just comment on that though? It's total appeal, and it's like I don't think you're evil for calling that out, but isn't that funny? Even in this, it's just a Republican strategy appeal. It might even be, it might win in certain respects or a certain mentality. It's just a Republican strategy to appeal to this base. Blah blah blah. But isn't it funny how even in that phoniness, and this is just my opinion, because I saw her speak. I went and saw her video myself without just. Isn't it funny that even in that phoniness, there's space for someone? It's like, no. Get me. I can see the board of directors now. I don't know. Get me that rapper. I don't care. Get me the most degenerate rapper. We need to speak to this base. And it's like they get Amber Rose thinking whatever, and it's like, oh, she's like, this is like an honest, relatable thing.
Yeah.
If you're following me here, like, and not for the wrong reasons either, for reasons that even this audience can relate to and agree with. So I had to get it out, man. Had to get it out, but appreciate the patience. Go ahead.
No, I definitely, and even with Amber Rose, I've seen the interview with her and JOP, and you know, and it always felt like she knew, right? There's something there that she knows, and so her story yesterday, I was actually, I was enjoying it because, you know, she spoke about her father, and it was very relatable, right? And ultimately, you know, the tattoo is like, oh my God, it's so much right now, but
yeah, on display, no fathers, what no men does to you, does to
right, and
women.
Her story was amazing, and so I did really, I had no, at the end of it, I was like, all right, this is kind of, it was really good. But it was really the last lady that threw me way off. It was like, all right, well,
Yeah.
are we playing?
I don't know much about her. I hear she's a nice lady and has done like positive lawyer work for people. You know, when I always reserve if I don't know for myself when I hear that stuff like they fought for this country. I'm like, what do you mean fought for the country? Like, have you seen the country? Like, hey, are they a smart individual who's very well spoken, who's woken up a lot of people? Sure, many things, but I'm always wary of this. Fought for the country so hard. Like, anyways, look, I'm rambling. Harmeet, she seems like a nice lady. I too was like, who the heck is Waheguru? But I really did not go into that heavily, like this thought of what the Waheguru, because just as quickly as I thought that, I just as quickly thought about how culty and weird the Christians are, and they're like, that's blasphemy, and that was a demon. That was a demon. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. The name of God, Yahweh, you don't say it like this. That's blasphemy. Okay, now you sound like a Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's our side. So just as quickly as I thought that about Harmeet, I thought that about us. So just being fair. Just not even just being fair, just being honest.
But what I wanted to say also about when I say appeal is that I actually know a lot of people because I'm from New Jersey, right? I know a lot of people from India, and they're great people, and to me they always seem like natural conservatives. To me, this seemed reasonable, and that's why I called it an appeal. And like, all right, like makes sense that if we're going to have this massive immigration, like this is going to like help us out in the future. Like I'm thinking about it like that.
You're thinking about how this would help, you say?
They seem like natural conservatives, and we should try to reach out to them instead of letting the left like convince them that our side is a bunch of racist people and they should get away from us. We should like.
That's not good. I don't look. If anyone's hearing that, like, why is that a crazy thing? I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. And that's purely strategic, and then there'll be the few who get it. There'll be the few who get it. Like if that's something you care about. I'm trying to have people see the kingdom. Some people think, right? Some people get it there too. But we're talking about a lot of people in this country already. 140 million people. This is people hear me say that, I guess, and I'm just rambling on the things that people on the things I've heard, and I see, and I guess I see both sides here. I see a little bit of reality and political strategy, but that doesn't discount from there's no reason to justify wrong things, wrong unchristian things that only get worse with time. It's not to condemn or judge, but if we just had a culture that just said, hey, we're not going to call that good. We're not going to judge you for that. We're not going to condemn you, but we're not going to call it good. I think you'd get a different direction. You know what I mean? That's just how I see things a little bit. If you follow me at all.
Yeah, I definitely follow with that, and yeah, I'm glad I called because of that. Because I've been thinking about this, and I know I shouldn't be overthinking it too much. And ultimately, like I do see your point, and I feel like that was how I felt before, and that's why I wanted to go there. I'm like, wait, I was okay.
Yeah.
Just a couple of days ago, and now today.
Yeah, you should be definitely okay. Number one, and definitely my point is, if to crystallize further, I guess I'm not even saying. This is to say we need to support Republicans. No, Republicans suck. They are dead mentality, futile mentality. But this is not to say what you were saying. Like you came on the call saying, I saw the RNC, Nick, and I'm like, no, it's a stage. The earth is flat. And calm down. Calm down. How do you know any of that unless you really know for yourself? You can know things. Okay, I think we beat this to death, sir. Anything else you want to say?
No, that was all. Thank you so much.
No, call me again, man. Pablo, appreciate it. Call me again.
All right, take care.
888-775-3773. Appreciate the calls. I see you coming in. 888-775-3773. I was talking about. Yeah. Talking about Yeah. Nuclear war. Yeah. It's a mother. Don't you know? If they press that button, yo, gotta go. We got John out of Houston. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hello, Nick. Hey, how's your afternoon today?
How you doing, John? I recognize you, sir. All is well.
I recognize you from YouTube.
Yeah. Look, mama.
Good lady.
I'm famous.
Well, okay, so, like, I can see how they are saying that woman is talking about a demon.
Help me understand.
So they say she's talking about a demon, but what do like the elites usually do? And I'm not saying that it's a demon. I'm not saying that it's good or evil, but I think it's kind of evil. So what do the elites usually do is they will, like put something in your face, and you will have to accept it. And then when you accept it, they slip in behind the borders and boundaries. And, they can, you agree to one thing and then you agree to another thing. And then the next thing you know, you're like, you got porno and porno drag queens like running around the, elementary school.
Okay, I'm following
you. Follow?
I'm following what you've said. You've described a scenario that is kind of parallel to things that happen in reality. You're describing a scenario in the future, so not real, but you're describing a scenario that's parallel to many things going on now. So I'm following what you said so far.
And what she has said, okay, well, it did happen. It did happen. She did do a sort of a hat tip to like a little hat tip, or a wink. She did like a wink when she did her little speech.
I'm following what you're saying, man. She did a wink, and you're saying that wink was what?
Okay, what is her God's name? Whatever it is.
Waheguru, like, the one true God. Waheguru.
Right. Why did she mention that he created this country, America?
Well, if the God created everything. When you think of Yahweh, I guess, or God, the Christian God or whatever, did he create this country? I mean, he created everything, right? God created America, man. Come on. Look, let me ask you this. John, you're talking about demons. You're talking about people winking and giving winks and nods to demons. You're talking about the evil agendas and motivations of people that others and we're talking about voters, audiences, unknowingly, unwittingly nod and grin to, not knowing what they're accepting. So I'm following what you said so far. But we've got to bring it to reality here for a second. We can still be reasonable people. We don't need to be unreasonable. Let me explain. Harmeet Dillon is the person you're talking about, okay? Harmeet Dillon went on stage at the Republican National Convention, okay? She went on stage. She is a woman who was born in Chandigarh, India, okay? This area is
right on. India's great.
And this area is the capital of Punjab or whatever, okay? It's a area, it's over there in India, you understand? She was born there. She has some relation to the Sikh stuff. And in Sikhism...
I like Indians.
Me too. We love the Indians, okay? She's a Sikh or whatever. She's into this stuff. And in Sikhism, there's a god. They call him Waheguru, okay? So you understand what I'm saying? We don't need to be unreasonable. Because everything you said, it's like, how can you? But can you tell me? Is it reasonable to look at Harmeet Dillon, born in India, with this stuff in her culture, growing up with it or whatever, and it's not just her; it's a whole bunch of people who call it Waheguru. Isn't it unreasonable to say that's a demon? No, this is an Indian woman who believes in Waheguru.
Wait a second, but what about the Indians that come over here?
What about
them? Why?
Well, wait, hold on. Don't change the subject just yet.
Why did she come there?
I don't know her story specifically, but we know that she's in India, that she was born there, right? And that there's this culture, and they call it Sikh, and there's a whole bunch of people who call God Waheguru. Isn't it? Do you see what I'm saying here? Isn't it more reasonable to just say, okay, this is an Indian woman who believes these things, as opposed to she's invoking the name of a demon, and we're all nodding to and unwittingly accepting an evil that we don't understand.
Okay, did you say Yahweh?
Wait, no, I did not say Yahweh. I'm talking. Did you hear what I just said? Waheguru?
A Yahweh.
Oh,
because nobody knows who that is. Like,
actually,
who?
you and I did it, but apparently there's a whole bunch of people who call God Waheguru. Okay, they're Sikh. You understand? Yes, no. Do you understand that?
I'm just going to be very passive about this situation. I'm going to be very passive about it.
No, I'm asking you a question. You got to be active. You can't be passive on a phone call in the air.
What? Wait, no. Because no, I don't know. I don't know who this person is.
Okay, you don't know who she is.
And our country.
I'm only asking you to be reasonable.
Needs Donald Trump and needs Jesus Christ and needs his father.
Yeah, but I'm only asking you to be reasonable, John. And you just told me you don't know who she is, what she's about, but that's a demon. No, she's just some Indian woman who believes in some stuff that's different and foreign and Sikh. Okay, you don't even know what demon is, because now why am I making this a big deal? People may be wondering, John may be wondering, why is this a big deal? Because then we go around calling things what they're not. We start calling demons what they're not demons, and we start thinking we know about spirituality when when our fight is totally spiritual. Our whole life is spiritual, and we are little babies, and we're like really don't know what we're talking about in that spiritual world. We're calling things demons what they're not, and we're actually turning into a bunch of Christians that don't know what they're talking about. Okay. So that's all I'm trying to say. You follow me, John?
I never heard of this story until you brought it on the air. So I called in because I was like looking at it and I was like, this is scary. This is scary. Like, this is like, maybe if she could done like a little hand sign or something, like I'd be more comfortable.
But that's not even what's really happening. Because you could say it's bad, but to say it's to say there's an Indian woman invoking the name of a demon, it's not even what's happening. It's at the best the Republicans going all in on diversity, but you can be diverse but a Republican, and it's like we're all in a big tent, and that's like that. That's all you can really conclude, man. That's all I'm trying to say, John. Don't go wow with it.
Yeah, I mean that's like probably why I had like big mental issues. Okay, like big like paranoia, like not really freakouts, but like just like a divulgence from logic, like big time. And then so I've had like that happen to where you might diagnose me, but I'm not going to diagnose it.
Nah. You're saying you experienced that, like divulging from this reality stuff?
Divulging from like reality.
Yo, I did that. I did that just yesterday, man. It's all good. Don't worry too much about that. I did that just yesterday. It's crazy, though. I was trying to give you an example. What happened? It's just, literally, you heard a call earlier about it, and it's no big deal. But, yeah, people, if you notice, everybody's doing that. So you don't have to think about yourself too hard about, I'm this person who divulges from reality a lot, if you're doing that. So you can, if you're doing that, you don't have to. If you're not, you can ignore what I'm saying. But, yeah, look, people call things what they're not. Look, I had a caller telling me, and not to harp so hard on you, Serge. We love Serge. He's calling sex marriage. It's like, no, sex is sex. You know what I mean? And we probably, you probably can think of some examples in your own life, right? So no big deal. Just come back to reality.
Well, man, at least Serge isn't on drugs. Is he?
No, I don't know. I'd say no. I have no reason to believe he is, and don't worry about all that. Oh, what are you saying with that? Are you saying? Are you saying that you are? My apologies.
Yeah, you're not talking about the same thing that I'm talking about, because. Well, I mean.
Are you saying that you are?
I don't know.
Did I misunderstand you?
I'm saying that, like, my little split from Logic was really fear-based. I don't know about if Serge is worried about getting married or something, or what.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I was saying that is to demonstrate how all people diverge from reality, and it's all fear-based. And it's pretty common is all I'm trying to say with that. And I was calling something what it wasn't just the other day. So you following me with that, John? It's common, so no big deal. And were you saying that? Were you just saying that you were? You don't have to answer this if it's personal. I just want to don't misunderstand. Are you saying that you're dealing with drugs? Because that's something that's something you could deal with too. That's not the end. That's not, the world's not over. You said you're dealing with drugs. I mean, don't answer if you don't want to.
Actually, no.
Okay, good.
No, and I'm not offended.
Okay, good.
Not offended.
Because that's something that's something you could deal with as well.
What, offensive?
Nice. Right on, John.
Nice.
I didn't like seeing some of that either. But what'd you think about Amber Rose, real quick? Did you see Amber Rose speak?
Yes. So when I looked at it, I was like, well, it's got Donald's picture there, got Amber there. It didn't seem like a scary at all. I mean, didn't scare me.
At least that's American, huh?
It just seemed reminded me of my. It's just reminded me of my family, not only my family, but America. Yeah.
Right on, John. I got you, sir. Well, can you call me again?
Yeah, I'll call you back, Nick, sometime.
Call me again, man. I want to hear about how you're doing, but I don't want to pry, so that's why I'm letting you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick, for taking my call.
Anytime, sir. 888-775-3773. Frederick, Los Angeles. Go. You're on the air, sir.
How's it going, Nick? How's it going?
All is well, man. Thank you for your call.
How you feel about Amber Rose being up there? You think she should have been up there talking? If anybody been up there talking?
Do I think anybody? What was the second part of that?
Why did they have her? Do you think that she should have been up there talking?
No, initially I saw this news. It was in the headlines like weeks ago, no? And I saw this and I was like, or maybe not even weeks ago, but I didn't even mention it on an earlier stream. I was like, man, I'm not even surprised. This is so Republican. Let's any person they just got to put on. They could be disabled. They could be like, I hate white people. I want to destroy America. But red MAGA hat. Hey, throw them up on the stage. That's what I was thinking, right? And then I heard her speak for herself, and I was like, oh, wow.
Well, you was moved by that.
I'm a judgmental freak, huh?
You was moved by her speech.
I was moved.
Wow. It ain't common that daughters are often wrong when they don't listen to their daddy. I mean, really? How many times we done told their daughters, don't date that guy, don't date that guy. You won't have all these pictures of you on the internet. She just said, she said something profound up there, like, well, I did my own research this time. How many times you didn't do your research? Let's talk about that.
Wow. Damn, Frederick.
You know what I mean? Y'all praising her. I listened to my daddy and I was wrong.
There's not a shred of love in you.
Boob jobs and plastic surgery you done had that you out here promoting to these young
You're just too base for her,
women.
huh? You're just way too base.
Conservative women want bodies like you now.
Is this how you treat?
Acting like,
You're just way too base for Amber Rose, huh? You're like, really? Frederick's base. Frederick's gonna be pretty base, but here's the problem with Frederick. He's gonna be pretty base, but the second he meets a brother or sister not as base as the same, he's like, psh, it's wrath. It's like, get out of my face. Get base like me.
That's all she's doing.
Oh, come on.
Anybody to say anything.
It is a miracle. Look, she went against racism, and I know to you that's like whatever. No, she doesn't know about pharaohs. She doesn't know about whatever you know. She's not based. But here's maybe you don't know, folks. Maybe I don't mean to lampoon you here, but I think you do believe in racism, right? You think whites are racist and all that. You think, and she went against that. You want to ask me? That's not a little thing. That's not just like a little thing.
That's pandering for her career. That is like, I mean, that's playing the game to say what you need to say.
How you know that?
Come on now. You think that's really like, you see people that call into your show from foreign little Honduras countries and they say, oh, I'm so submissive, or they play a role like, come on, man. They talk against their own interest type people. And just
most people are.
It gets them recognition, controversy.
Judgmental, so that's all you know.
That talks against their own interest.
This person's lying. Yeah. This is the thing with non-Santa believers, people with no hope, people with non-Christians. This is with pharaohs. This is the thing. It's futile mentality. The thing with them is it's like, look at these people from Honduras pretending like they're so like. And then it's like, yeah, he's probably right about that. He's probably right about this person. He's probably right about that. He's probably right about all these things he's saying. And it's like, yeah, let me just be down there, this nasty person with him, when he really doesn't know. When he really doesn't know. And it's all just, and it's funny how you can, if you were a betting man, maybe you could even put some pretty high odds on your favor. But that's, all I hear is a futile dead person. That's all I hear. I hear a futile mindset. I hear a dead person.
That's them echo chambers.
Dead person on the phone. Dead man talking. And that's not a threat. I'm saying that he's already dead. I'm not doing the deadening. Go ahead, sir. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going off on one. My apologies. I'm being rude.
Not a problem. The echo chambers you grew up in are showing. The more y'all repeat stuff in chat, the more y'all believe it's true, and the more news y'all watch. It's just the echo chambers y'all live in. Y'all like hearing the same stuff, and if it don't bounce off the same walls and y'all all agree,
what thing?
Gets thrown back out.
What thing? What thing do I want to keep hearing in the echo chamber?
Like the truth is y'all want y'all country back. Like y'all already feel defeated. Like
what thing do I want to keep hearing in the echo chamber? So yeah, country defeated. You're saying I want to hear this?
That's just the echo chambers, like the victim mentality. You losing, y'all need to rise up.
I'm still not following. I'm still not following. What concept or idea that I want to keep hearing that you're talking about?
Like Trump is like the echo chambers. Like you don't see the division. Like you're on the side of one puppet string. And you don't look at the top. Your eyes are focused at the other opposition instead of looking.
My eyes are focused on
who's controlling you.
Oh yeah, what makes you say that?
Democrats. Because you talk about the Democrats and versus Republicans, like y'all don't understand that if they wanted Trump shot, they would.
Oh, I don't know what show you've been watching, Frederick. It sounds like you're doing this thing again.
No,
you're doing this hallucination thing again, where you're like, call my show, but you're talking about a different show. Just hey. I know life's been tough, man. Look, I don't know. You're hallucinating, Frederick. Frederick, you're hallucinating.
Life's been tough for who?
Frederick, look, you're hallucinating.
Life's
You're hallucinating, sir. You're not. You're calling American Anchor Baby. This is American Anchor Baby.
How do you feel that I'm dead? What are you saying? How do you feel like all you hearing is like? You explain what you said.
About you're saying that I want to keep hearing this echo chamber, and so far the only thing you said is like this left-right stuff.
No, I'm saying what you said about me being dead.
Oh yeah, being dead. You're saying because all you could do is like nitpick on like, look at all these false people. The Republicans are so phony. They're so nasty. Da da da. And I'm here talking about this one person who, and I'm still asking people, what does she say is wrong? What's so evil? Da da da. And you're like, look at this phony. This is phony. Echo chamber, fake. And I'm just pointing out how that's how dead people are. They can't help but focus on all that stuff. And I'm here talking about this, and you want to talk about that.
You don't see
because you just want to talk about the crap, and I'm moving around the crap and pointing out just this little smidgen of light.
No, they're supporting court jesters that never really did nothing in life but.
And if you watch the show, this is why I was saying you're hallucinating, Frederick. Because if you watch the show, I've taken your calls multiple times, Fred. Come on, left and right, it's the same bird. We're on the same page, but
I'm saying,
hey, whatever.
Why would they put her at the Republican?
Because, like I was saying with my other caller, they have this like. Oh, my bad.
It's the face of degeneracy. Why let her?
Two reasons.
Act like
because she supports Trump. Two reasons. Because she supports Trump, and Trump is the Republican Party right now.
They couldn't.
And two, because one because she supports Trump, and two, because it looks good. I don't know. It'll look good for the people they want to get to, the hip hop world. I don't know what they're trying to do.
All right.
You know what I mean by that.
Nick. No, I appreciate that.
But wait, appreciate my answer like it's a surprise, like you got it out of me. You always have this energy, this vibe of like I'm investigated and I just finally got it. I'm saying things I've been saying. What did you achieve with this call, Frederick? And go.
I'm asking you a question.
Go ahead.
What you feel about Amber Rose, and you said what?
I said that.
You appreciate.
I said that it was weird that they brought her on for all the reasons I said. I thought the same things. I was like, why her? Could they find anybody else? This seems like it seems like the same strategy from the Republicans of pandering and actually being weak, Democrat light. And then I heard her speak, and I'm like, wow, she sounds like a lot of people I know, individuals that turn away from something.
Who put her up to that? Exactly.
Well, now you're going somewhere else. Who put her up to say that? I don't know. Who put her up, Frederick? Tell us. Tell us, Frederick, the mind reader. Who put her up to it?
She was on the bond before. You think it was the Heritage Foundation? They support a lot of the PACs. You know who they are? Look. I'm not trolling. All right, I'm out of here. Have a good day.
But you haven't said anything, Frederick. I'm the only reason I'm keeping on, folks, is because this is important to point out. This is important to point out. He didn't say anything with that. He just said, "Oh, the Heritage Foundation," so that if it comes out that you got some money, now he's supposed to sound smart. He hasn't said anything. So remember, folks, hold people to that. Ask them when they say the world is falling. Say, yeah, when. So hold people to that because you didn't say anything, Frederick. All right, man.
Coming out, Nick.
Appreciate it, sir.
Do you have your own personal relationship with God?
Oh, that was an interesting question on Sunday. That was an interesting thing.
And the teacher inside you, would that be your own personal relationship with your own teacher inside you? See, everything
I don't know.
Hear, yeah, I know.
I don't know.
But everything you
I don't
hear,
think like
you gotta
that.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Make what make sense?
And like
you asked me a question, and you said, "Oh, okay, make it make sense."
You said, "I don't know." You can make it make sense.
Make what make sense?
A lot of times.
All right, Rick. You stay in your conspiracy
world.
world.
Your own little personal teacher inside you.
You stay in your conspiracy world, man.
Not you.
Hey, don't make little details bigger than they need to be.
Oh my God.
That's like a pothead thing. And I noticed that a lot of people like you set themselves up for a lot of trouble. Potheads make little things big. Potheads make little things huge, and they make them into like world-changing truths, but they're not.
What? Oh, okay. Lay off the peyote.
Nice. Call me again, sir.
All right. Take it easy.
That's the show, folks. That's the show. We got thank you, Pablo, for that super chat earlier. Were you my caller? That's the show. American Anchor, baby. Catch me tomorrow for more. Thank you for being with me today. All the callers and super chats and all that. Take care. I'm out. 12 noon tomorrow. What's up, Lily Poo? Lily Poo over there. Rumble.com. All right, y'all. I'm out. See y'all tomorrow as we do on the network. Take care. Bye.